If you're sailing on the Disney Adventure or any Disney cruise, there are some essential items that you absolutely don't want to forget. There are also items that you may pack that you don't actually need. Today I'm breaking down my essential items for your long haul flights and also for your Disney Adventure cruise. So let's get into it. This week I've started to get packed and prepped for my Disney Adventure maiden voyage from Singapore. There are a couple of items that I always like to have, especially in my carry-on on a long haul flight. So I'm going to look at those. I'm also going to break down the items that I'll always bring on a Disney cruise. We're going to look at some items that you do not need to bring with you. And we are going to look at some cabin hacks. So little items that might make things a bit easier on your cruise. If that sounds interesting, do subscribe to the channel. I'm also going to have a lot of upcoming content from the cruise. So stay tuned for those. Let's get into it. So looking at your flight essentials, obviously your travel documentation, your ID, so your passport, make sure that you have all that stuff in your carry-on ready to go. Another thing that I do is I have started to pack a little essentials kit. So this is a little bag that I will put into my carry-on bag, but I will keep everything that I think I'm going to need during the flight in this bag. It opens up, it's got little compartments, so I'll put in things like my headphones, phone charger, lip balm, any medications I think I might need, tissues, hand wipes, things like that I want to be able to easily access. So this saves me from having to actually rummage in my carry-on bag, especially if I want to put it in the overhead locker. I can just have everything I need in here, pop it in the seat in front of me, and at least it's easy to access. So that's been a real game changer for me on my last few long haul flights. So another thing I absolutely will always travel with is my reusable water bottle. So at the moment, my favorite bottle is my Corksicle water bottle from Walt Disney World. Got this last year. I love that it's a stainless steel bottle. It's got the straw, holds a good amount of water. So I've been bringing this traveling everywhere. But as well as that, I will also always bring some electrolyte tablets to stay hydrated. So I'll just pop these into the bottle with my water. Because I might not be drinking as much water on the flight as I ordinarily would during the day. So I find that taking electrolytes just really helps with the jet lag as well. So that's kind of a good tip. I just use SIS brand, but I mean any brand will really do. So another essential for the plane is a neck pillow and also an eye mask. So this is my neck pillow, comes in a really handy little travel case. I think I got this on Amazon. Any items I've picked up off Amazon, I'll actually link those down below in the description so you can check those out. I have some associate links for those. So this one I've been using for a while. I like the way that it's really easy to transport. It came with an eye mask, which is great if you want to try and sleep on the plane. This one's really, really soft. I also kind of like that it's got this little clip attachment here. So I was able to just clip that onto the outside of my bag, my carry-on bag, instead of having to actually try and fit it into my bag. Because obviously travel pillows can be a little bit cumbersome sometimes to transport. So I have found this one really good, but I find a travel pillow, it's really essential when you're trying to get some sleep on the plane. Now, looking at your essential items to bring on the cruise, you're going to want to bring a carry-on bag with you onto the cruise. So your big luggage, you're going to give that over to Disney Cruise Line, but you're also going to want to bring a carry-on onto the ship with you because you're not going to have access to your larger luggage for probably a couple of hours until it gets dropped off at your stateroom. So in my carry-on bag, I will make sure I have, again, my ID. So whatever ID you use during your check-in process, if that's a passport, make sure you have that with you. Also make sure that you have your port arrival form. That's really important, either a printed version or a digital version. So in your carry-on bag, you're going to want to keep any of your essential items. So medications that you might need in the day. If you want to bring your phone chargers, cameras, anything like that, I would keep that in your carry-on. Another good thing to have with you on the cruise, if you're a first-time cruiser, you may want to bring a lanyard with you so that you can put your key to the world card in here. If you've cruised more than once with Disney, you then become a member of the Castaway Club, and you will actually be given a lanyard in your room. But if you haven't sailed before, then definitely pick up a lanyard because it's handy. You want your key to the world card when you're out and about on the ship because it can be used to charge things to your room, etc. So that's handy to have. So as well as a lanyard, you might want to bring a spare card. So a credit card size card that you can pop into the light switch inside your stateroom. This is just handy to have because it means you don't have to keep taking your key to the world card in and out of the light switch. Another thing that I'll bring with me is my Magic Band. So I've had these for a while now, this Magic Band Plus. We're not sure. I haven't been able to find out information on whether Magic Band is going to work on the Disney Adventure. Hopefully it will, because it's so handy. Because you can use it to get in and out of your room. You can use it to pay for items in the shop or at the bars and lounges. So I just always find it really handy to be able to use my Magic Band. So I'll pop that in as well. I'll also always bring a lanyard from my phone, and that is just so I can be hands-free, especially if I don't have any pockets in my outfit. And I actually utilize my phone lanyard as a way to display pins as well. So this is just one that I got online. Very handy. Just means I can throw my phone around my neck. I'm not worrying about carrying it in my pocket. And speaking of pins, something that I recommend if you're interested in collecting pins is to buy yourself some of these pin backers. So the pin backers that come on Disney pins are these little rubber black Mickey head pins, but they don't hold the pins on really well. It's actually really easy to lose your pins. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to collect them or you want to pop them on a lanyard or pop them on a bag, I would suggest getting some of these steel backers. They're just way tougher and it's nearly impossible to get those off. I've never lost a pin using these. So that's just a little tip if you're into getting pins. So another thing that I'm going to bring with me to have on the ship is just a small little bag, just a little crossbody bag. So if I don't want to carry my phone around my neck, if I have too much stuff going on with lanyards and phone lanyards, it means I can just pop it in here and I can keep any essentials on me that I need if I needed to bring any medication or lip balms or whatever, or sunscreen, anything like that. I can just pop it in here and bring it with me. So handy to have like a small little bag. This one's good. It just folds up. So I'll bring that with me too. So other essentials to have on the cruise, any kind of medication that you need. What I've started doing is actually putting together a little travel kit of medication. So they'll just live in here all the time and so I know everything is there that I want for when I'm traveling, and I'll just throw this in my bag. I just got this cute little holder on Amazon. At least I'll know what everything is because it's red. I'll know it's the medicine one. So really handy. It just opens up. You can pop anything you want in here. So I would recommend definitely bringing some things like motion sickness tablets. So if you haven't cruised before and you're not sure whether you will get motion sick, definitely have some motion sickness tablets. I'm not prone to seasickness, thankfully, but there has been once or twice where maybe if seas are rough that I've been really glad to actually have some motion sickness tablets with me. Then you're going to want to pack essentials like sunscreen. So especially if you're going to the likes of Singapore to sail on the adventure, it's going to be warm, it's going to be very humid. And so you definitely want to pack some sunscreen. Another good thing that I'm really glad that I invested in is an anti-chafe stick. So really good for hot weather. So we picked this up for going to Orlando because obviously, again, very humid, hot climate. So this is great. You can put it anywhere and it really, really helps with that kind of chafing during the hot weather. So definitely recommend picking up something like that to bring. In terms of tech, obviously I'll bring my phone chargers, all that kind of stuff. But what we love to have is a multi-plug. So we have one of these travel plugs and it's been brilliant because it has every kind of connection that we need. So it's got EU plug, UK, USA. It's also got USB and USB-C. So it's really, really handy that everything's all in one. I believe that Singapore is just regular plug, the type of plug that we have here in Ireland and UK, which is really, really handy. So just a regular 3-pin. But something like this I find is really handy because it doesn't take up that much space. So everything's all in one. So definitely something like that is handy to have. Another thing that I really like to bring is a power bank. So this is great for charging devices on the go. So this one is an OtterBox. It's been really, really good. We actually have 2 of these. And we always bring these. We have found these really handy, especially for visiting the parks when we need to charge phones and things on the go. So handy for the cruise too, because you're using your app quite a lot to check the schedule. So good to be able to charge as you're on the move. And then looking at some of the fun items to bring on the cruise, things like your Mickey ears. So just looking at some of the Disney cruise groups online, I've seen a lot of people asking whether they should bring Mickey ears. Do people wear them on the ships? People definitely wear them on the ships. I always wear mine. I have too many ears, and I have ones for different seasons, so Christmas, Halloween, etc. And I will always bring some pairs with me on the cruise, just because they're fun. And yeah, and I picked up this little bag for keeping them in, just keeps them from getting all squished in the suitcase. And then the other fun thing to bring are magnets. So in case you didn't know, your Disney cruise door is going to be magnetic. So your stateroom door is magnetic. Also the walls of your room are magnetic, which is really cool too. But yes, magnets. So I get custom ones made usually on Etsy. And we will decorate our door with those. I've also picked up some on Amazon, just like little fun ones. Recently got some cute Zootopia ones that I'm going to decorate our adventure door with. Personalized ones with our names. So magnets are really, really fun. Lots of people decorate their doors, and it's actually really fun to walk around the ship and actually see people's doors, because some people go all out. So definitely take some time, wander the corridors and check out people's door decorations. But pick up some magnets and have some fun with that. An optional extra fun kind of item would also be something like an autograph book, especially if you're traveling with children and they may want to get some autographs from the characters. So definitely maybe picking up something like that to have so that they can get signatures is really cute too. Looking at some cabin hacks, so some things that are handy to have for your stateroom. As I mentioned, the walls of your room are actually magnetic, and something that we bring are these little magnetic hooks. So you can pick these up on Amazon. They're really handy to have for hanging up maybe hats or lanyards or little decorations in your room. Some people also use these outside on the stateroom door to hang up little decorations. So they're quite handy to have with you. Again, as well, your refillable water bottle, because you can go up on deck and you can fill up soft drinks, or you can fill up your water from there as well. And it's really handy to be able to bring that back to your room. So something else that I find really handy to bring to have in the stateroom is a laundry bag. So we just use one of these. It's really simple, really small, really foldable, packable kind of one. But it's just really handy to be able to throw laundry in here. Disney Cruise Line, you can actually access wash facilities, so you can do laundry on the ship. Now, I don't anticipate really doing laundry on the Disney Adventure. It's such a short cruise. But we have utilized laundry facilities on longer sailings. So handy to have that. But even if you're not utilizing it on the Adventure, if you're over there for any extended period, it's just handy to be able to separate out your laundry from your clean clothes. So that's really handy. Something else you might want to consider is a wet dry bag. So I just picked up these little small ones, and they're just handy for throwing any damp or wet clothes, so maybe swimwear, etc. into those. Something else I have found really useful, especially because I travel long haul, are these compression bags. So they've kind of helped to save some space in our luggage. It also helps being able to like separate out different kinds of clothing into the various bags. I picked up these little sets and they just have different sizes in them. I just found they were really helpful for keeping things organized. So they do actually compress down quite well, which is just really useful when you're trying to save some space. Especially on the way home if you're like me and you've bought a lot of merch. Something else you might want to consider bringing, especially if you're traveling to Singapore and it's that kind of hotter, more humid climate, is something like a portable fan. I have a small one. I don't actually have it to hand, but I'll pop up a picture. And it's really neat, very foldable, and just kind of handy to have if you get really, really warm. So this is just useful if you're traveling to those kind of hotter climates. So what are the items that you don't need to pack, that you can save some space in your luggage? You don't want to pack too many formal outfits. So generally cruise casual is completely fine on the ships. For most of the dinners, you do not need to dress up. It's really only longer sailings, that 7 nights or more, that you're going to have a formal night. And even at that, it's not a requirement to dress up formally. So I think on the likes of the Disney Adventure there, you're not going to have a formal night because the sailings are so short. Now, the exception to this is if you are having dinner in one of the adult dining restaurants, they do like you to dress up a little bit more. So maybe a shirt for men, slacks, maybe a dress for women. So, you know, maybe 1 or 2 formal outfits is enough, or slightly more formal outfits. But generally, cruise casual is totally fine. You just don't want to take up too much space in your luggage with lots and lots of formal outfits. The other thing you do not need to bring are towels. So Disney provides towels for you around the pool, etc. So you don't need to bring those with you. And obviously there's towels in your room. You do not need to bring a hairdryer. There will be one in your stateroom and they're usually really, really good. I've never brought a hairdryer with me on a Disney cruise. I've had no issues. So the other thing that you don't need to bring is full-size toiletries. So you don't necessarily need to bring full-size shampoos or body washes because Disney provides those for you. Their toiletries in the staterooms are really good. Unless, of course, you want to bring your specific shampoos, etc. Sometimes I'll bring maybe my own shampoo, but I won't bother with bringing body wash or lotion, etc. because they have those available and they're really nice quality. People actually really like the quality of the Disney products. So those are my essential items for going on a Disney cruise or for a long haul flight. They're the items that I'm going to be bringing with me now on the maiden voyage of the Disney Adventure. I hope that you have found this video useful. If you have, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm going to have lots of content now upcoming from my travels to Singapore for the maiden voyage. I'm going to be doing room tours and some vlogging, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and let's turn your miles into magic.